Good morning. How is everybody today? I hope the sun has come out for you wherever you are, and that you're enjoying this lovely weather that we're having at the moment. The activity that I've got for you today is a simple storytelling today. The story we're going to be reading is this one. Now, I know it's back to front on your camera, but I will make sure it's the right way around when I read it for you. So this story is called Fly, Eagle, Fly, and it's an African tale. This one is retold by Christopher Gregorowski. And the pictures are by Nikki Daly, and the pictures are very beautiful. So I'm going to be reading this story to you, and there are two ways that you can listen to this story today. So the first way is you can have just a really nice relaxing time, and you can find a little snuggle place where you can just snuggle down, maybe get a pillow and a blanket, your favourite teddy, get yourself all warm and cosy, and just enjoy the story, just enjoy listening to it. The other way you can listen to this story today is I'm going to be doing a series of poses and movements linked to the story that you might like to do. So if you struggle to sit still and listen, which I know lots of people do, then feel free to clear a space on the floor, come and sit down and watch the screen, and you can follow some of the movements that I'm doing along with the story. Whatever way you decide to listen to the story today, I'd just like you to really enjoy it and think about the message behind it if you're old enough to. And yeah, just enjoy listening to a story and having a bit of quiet, relaxing time. So this story, Fly, Eagle, Fly, is actually an African parable that's been told for many years around Africa. It originated in Ghana, and it's about our purpose on the earth, I suppose. So this is what it says about it. How frequently have we thought that we were chickens, destined to spend our lives limited to an earthly existence with limited horizons, whereas we are made for something far more noble. We are made for the sublime, the transcendent. We are not bound to this earth and a humdrum existence, but are made for something truly glorious. We are not mere chickens, but eagles, destined to soar to sublime heights. We are made for freedom and laughter and goodness and love and eternity, despite all appearances to the contrary. We should be straining to become what we have it in us to become, to gaze at the rising sun and lift off and soar. Today I'm reading Fly, Eagle, Fly, an African tale, retold by Christopher Gregorowski. Pictures by Nikki Daly. When a baby eagle is blown from its nest, a farmer raises it with his chickens. But will this eagle be forever limited to life in the farmyard, or will it learn to follow its destiny in the skies? A farmer went out one day to search for a lost calf. The little herd boys had come back without it in the evening before, and that night there had been a terrible storm. He went to the valley and searched. He searched by the riverbed. He searched among the reeds, behind the rocks, and in the rushing water. He wandered over the hillside and through the dark and tangled forests where everything began, then out again along the muddy cattle tracks. He searched in the long thatched grass, taller than his own head. He climbed the slopes of the high mountain with its rocky cliffs rising to the sky. He called out all the time, hoping that the calf might hear, but also because he felt so alone. His shouts echoed off the cliffs. The river roared in the valley below. He climbed up a gully in case the calf had huddled there to escape the storm, and that was where he stopped. For there, on a ledge of rock, Close enough to touch, he saw the most unusual sight. An eagle chick, hatched from its egg a day or two before, and then blown from its nest by the terrible storm. He reached out and cradled the chick in both hands. He would take it home and take care of it. And home he went, still calling in case the calf might hear. He was almost home when the children ran out to meet him. "The calf came back by itself," they shouted. The farmer was very pleased. He showed the eagle chick to his wife and children, then placed it carefully in the warm kitchen among the hens and chickens and under the watchful eye of the roosters. "The eagle is the king of the birds," he said, "but we shall train it to be a chicken." So the eagle lived among the chickens, learning their ways. His children called their friends to see the strange bird, for as it grew, living on the bits and pieces put out for the chickens, it began to look quite different from any chicken they had ever seen. One day, a friend dropped in for a visit. He and the farmer sat at the door of the kitchen hut smoking their pipes. The friend saw the bird among the chickens. "Hey, that's not a chicken, it's an eagle." The farmer smiled at him and said, "Of course it's a chicken. Look, it walks like a chicken, it eats like a chicken, it thinks like a chicken. Of course it's a chicken." But the friend was not convinced. "I will show you that it is an eagle," he said. "Go ahead," said the farmer. The farmer's children helped his friend catch the bird. It was fairly heavy, but he lifted it above his head and said, "You are not a chicken, but an eagle. You belong not to the earth, but to the sky. Fly, eagle, fly." The bird stretched out its wings as the farmer and his family had seen it do before. But it looked about, saw the chickens feeding, and jumped down to scratch with them for food. "I told you it was a chicken," the farmer said, and he roared with laughter. Next day, the friend was back. "Farmer," he said, "I will prove to you that this is no chicken, but an eagle. Bring me the ladder." With the large bird under one arm, he struggled up the slippery thatch of the tallest hut. The farmer doubled up with laughter. "It eats chicken food. It thinks like a chicken. It is a chicken." The friend, swaying on top of the hut, took the eagle's head, pointed it to the sky and said, "You are not a chicken, but an eagle. You belong not to the earth, but to the sky. Fly, eagle, fly." Again, the great bird stretched out its wings. It trembled, and the claws that clasped his hand opened. "Fly, eagle, fly!" the man cried. But the bird scrambled out of his hand, slid down the thatch, and sailed in among the chickens. There was much laughter. Very early next morning, on the third day, the farmer's dogs began to bark. A voice was calling outside in the darkness. The farmer ran to the door. It was his friend again. "Give me one more chance with the bird," he begged. "Do you know the time? It's long before dawn. Are you crazy?" "Come with me. Fetch the bird." Reluctantly, the farmer went into the kitchen, stepping over his sleeping children, and picked up the bird, which was fast asleep among the chickens. The two men set off, disappearing into the darkness. "Oh, where are we going?" asked the farmer sleepily. "To the mountains, where you found the bird." "And why at this ridiculous time of night?" so that our eagle may see the sun rise over the mountain and follow it into the sky where it belongs." They went into the valley and crossed the river, the friend leading the way. The bird was very heavy and too large to carry comfortably, but the friend insisted on taking it himself. "Hurry," he said, "or the dawn will arrive before we do." The first light crept into the sky as they began to climb the mountain. Below them they could see the river snaking like a long, thin ribbon through the golden grasslands, the forest and the veld stretching down towards the sea. The wispy clouds in the sky were pink at first and then began to shimmer with a golden brilliance. Sometimes their path was dangerous as it clung to the side of the mountain, crossing narrow shelves of rock and taking them into dark crevices and out again. They were both panting, especially the friend who was carrying the bird. At last he said, "Oh, this will do." He looked down the cliff and saw the ground thousands of feet below. They were very near the top. Carefully, the friend carried the bird onto a ledge. He set it down so that it looked towards the east and began talking to it. The farmer chuckled. "Oh, it only talks chickens talk." But the friend talked on, telling the bird about the sun, how it gives life to the world, how it rains in the heavens, giving light to each new day. "Look at the sun, eagle, and when it rises, rise with it. You belong to the sky, not to the earth." At that moment, the sun's first rays shot out over the mountain, and suddenly the world was ablaze with light. The golden sun rose majestically, dazzling them. The great bird stretched out its wings to greet the sun and feel the life-giving warmth on its feathers. The farmer was quiet. The friend said, "You belong not to the earth, but to the sky. Fly, eagle, fly." He clambered back to the farmer. All was silent. Nothing moved. The eagle's head stretched up. Its wings stretched outwards. Its legs leaned forward as its claws clutched the rock. And then, without really moving, feeling the updraft of a wind more powerful than any man or bird, the great eagle leaned forward and was swept upward, higher and higher, lost to sight in the brightness of the rising sun, never again to live among the chickens. So I hope you enjoyed that story. What would be a really nice thing for you to do now, if you would like to carry on thinking about the story, is I would like you to think about what makes you a chicken and what makes you an eagle. So you could get 2 pieces of paper and on one draw a chicken and on one draw an eagle, or maybe get your parents to draw you some pictures or find some pictures on the internet, or however you want to do it. So then on the chicken, I'd like you to write or draw around the chicken all the things that you maybe don't really enjoy or you find a bit boring. Anything that you think stops you being an eagle. So you could do anything like any of your worries or your fears or anxieties that you have can be around that chicken. So anything you're scared of, anything that worries you, anything that makes you feel heavy, anything that makes you feel sad, anything that makes you feel like not yourself, really. And then the really nice part is on the eagle, I'd like you to write or draw all of the things that make you feel like you can fly. So all the things that make you really happy or really excited, all the things around you that make your day incredible. I'd also like you to write around that eagle all the things you're really, really good at, all the skills you have, because I know that you've probably got loads of them. So write them all around that eagle, all the things that lift you up and make you light. When you've got those two things, you can decide what you'd like to do with them. Now, the chicken is probably the things you don't really want to be looking at and reading, and you kind of want to get rid of them a little bit. So maybe you want to rip that chicken up and throw it in the bin. Maybe you want to hide that chicken somewhere where you don't need to look at it for now. And then maybe if you're having some of those feelings, you could get your chicken out and have a think about how you can change some of those chicken feelings into some eagle feelings. Now, your eagle feelings, you want more of those if you can, don't you? So maybe you could put your eagle up somewhere, and when you're having a hard time, you can look at your eagle and it can remind you of all the things you can do to make yourself happy and all the strengths and talents that you have. If you have any other ideas about how you can use this story or how you can use your chicken or your eagle, it would be really lovely for you or your parents to comment on the video and let me know what you've been up to. So that's all from us today. I hope you're having a really lovely week and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Blessings and strength to you all, and remember, be radiant. Bye.